Okay, in this video, we're going to be launching kind of off of the end of estimates and going into invoicing. So in this video, we're going to just dial in on creating an invoice from an estimate. So in a previous video, we created an estimate, and we'll notice that if we come under the sales tab here and go to all sales, we have this little graph here, this little bar that shows the estimates here in blue. So we have this $530 estimate. We see it also here in the tray, and we'll see that the status is pending. So let's say that a customer, they accepted the estimate and now we need to invoice for the work. So if we come and we click on this estimate, we can click edit. We can come in here and we can go accepted. And I'm going to say it was accepted by Bob Vila on today. So we've saved that, we've updated it. So now it shows that the estimate is approved and it's ready to go. So now what we can do is from this estimate, we can create an invoice. So let's click that button and we have some options. So we can invoice for the entire amount of the estimate. So let's say it was a one-off job. We're doing the estimate, we do the job, and it's a quick one-day thing, and we're going to invoice for the whole thing. Then we can just select this box, total of all estimate lines, 530. So that's going to create the estimate. What we do have as an option is we can progress invoice. So say this was going to be a big project. It was going to take place over a long period of time, and we needed some money up front, or we were going to invoice at different stages. When we get this amount of work done, we're going to invoice for it. So what we can do is we can select this, and what we can do is we can put a percentage in this box of the total, and it's going to calculate and create an estimate of that amount. So just for the sake of argument, I'm going to take this and we're going to bump it up. We're going to bump up the totals here just so that we have something to work with. So now if we wanted to invoice by percentage and say, hey, we did 25% of the work, we're going to break this estimate up into 4 payments. Then we could put 25%, and then that is going to send them an invoice for 25% of the estimate. So it's going to show the remaining balance here, and we're just going to create one estimate for one part of this estimate. So just to show you what that looks like, we'll create it. And now you see that it's linked to that estimate. We can select the invoice date. We can select the due date. We have the same products and services. Everything is brought forward from the estimate, but we see 25% of 5,000, the entire amount due. 25% of 300 due. So it's calculating the quantity, it's keeping the rate, and it's calculating the amount. So now we have this total amount. We have a unique invoice number. It's giving us a total. And now this is something that we can send to our invoice. So we can save and send if this is something we have their email, we're going to do it electronically, or we can save and close if we just need to create the invoice. So that is how we create an invoice off of the estimate. So now let's say that if we come back here, you'll notice that we have the estimate and we have an invoice for this amount. So if we come back into the estimate, then you'll notice down here we have the estimate total, the invoice subtotal, what we've invoiced for, and now there's a remaining balance. So we could come up here and we could create another invoice. We could do 25%. We could select the next portion of it on May 1st. We're going to give them 10 days to pay it. Now we've calculated that same amount again. We have a different invoice number. It's linked to that same invoice. And now if we save, then we have two invoices on this estimate. Again, we can click on the estimate again. Let's say we're going to invoice for another part of it. So you'll see 5,300 total that's invoiced and the total remaining. So again, we can do the same thing. We can create an invoice, 25%. We've broken that out again. We'll save that. And then we have this estimate here. We're going to select it one more time. We have the remaining balance here. So now we could create the invoice. We could do 25%, or we could just do the remaining total of that invoice. So now the estimate is completely done. We've invoiced for all of these. It shows that it's been converted, and we have the whole job invoiced. So we're going to go into invoicing and payments and all of that in another video, but that is essentially how we would take an estimate and turn them into invoices for our customers. So we'll see you in another video.